Must have been a reason why I was praying for everybody. The cat got to go. Shelter, home, I don't know. Wherever.
Now, how in the world did Blueface's house go from welcome home energy to a full-blown animal control soap opera? Because apparently Nevaeh bringing a cat into the mix was all it took for Karlissa to turn into the family courtroom. The landlord, the health inspector, and the neighborhood watch all at once. 1 minute, everybody is arguing about loyalty, babies, girlfriends, exes, and who is really standing on business. And the next minute, Karlissa is allegedly losing her mind over a cat, like that little furball walked in wearing Blueface's chain and asked for a publishing deal. The internet barely had time to digest one scandal before the next one came crawling across the floor with whiskers. Attitude and enough chaos to make this whole situation look like a Zeus reunion filmed inside a pet store. And baby, when Karlissa gets involved, it is never just a calm, motherly concern, because she does not whisper, she detonates. Because let's be real, Karlissa has never been the type to see drama and say, let me mind my business. Absolutely. Not, she sees one suspicious move and suddenly she is live, loud, locked in, and ready to narrate the collapse of the entire Blueface empire like she is hosting a messy family documentary. Nobody asked for, but everybody is watching. Nevaeh bringing a cat into Blueface's space sounds simple on paper, but in this circus, even a litter box can become evidence. A couch can become a crime scene, and one meow can start a family war bigger than Thanksgiving at the Kardashians. House fans instantly started asking if this was really about the cat, or if the cat was just the tiny furry excuse for Karlissa to say what she had already been holding in. Because when a mother starts complaining about pets, allergies, boundaries, and who belongs in whose house, you already know the conversation is about way more than cat food. And that is where the whole thing gets nasty. Because Nevaeh is sitting in the middle of Blueface's world like she belongs there, while Karlissa is allegedly looking at the situation like, absolutely not. Not in my son's house. Not around the kids, and definitely not with a cat named like it came straight from a horror movie. The fans are screaming, the comments are split, the jokes are brutal. And Blueface is once again in the middle of a storm where everybody around him is louder than the actual rapper. But the real question is not whether Karlissa hates the cat, or whether Nevaeh crossed the line, or whether Blueface is secretly enjoying the chaos from the sidelines. The real question is why one little cat made Karlissa explode, like she knew something bigger was hiding inside that house. The chaos did not start with the cat. It started with the house, because whenever Blueface's world turns into a revolving door of girlfriends, baby mama tension, family opinions, and internet detectives with too much free time, the smallest detail can turn into a headline before breakfast. Nevaeh stepping into that space already had people side-eyeing the situation because fans were still trying to figure out where she stood, how serious Blueface was taking her, and why every new chapter around him somehow looked messier than the last. Then the cat appeared, and suddenly the internet acted like somebody had dropped a wild tiger in the living room. The jokes were instant. The reactions were dramatic, and Karlissa allegedly came in swinging like that cat had signed a contract to take over the family. What made the whole thing even messier was how normal the situation probably looked at first. Because on the surface, it was just a pet being brought into a house. But with this family, nothing stays surfacely vol, because a regular object, a regular post, or a regular little comment can turn into a full investigation with fans zooming in, slowing clips down, reading body language, and acting like they work for the FBI's gossip department. People were not just asking, why is there a cat? They were asking, why is Nevaeh comfortable enough to bring a cat there? And once that question hit the timeline, the entire conversation shifted from pet drama to position drama. Because now everybody wanted to know who really had control inside that house. Karlissa's alleged reaction gave the internet exactly what it needed, because when she gets loud, fans do not scroll past. They pull up a chair and start taking notes. She has always carried that energy where she can turn one sentence into a courtroom statement, a comedy roast, and a family warning all at the same time. So when word started moving that she was upset about Nevaeh bringing a cat into Blueface's house, people immediately knew it was not going to stay cute. This was not giving "please remove the pet politely." It was giving "pack the litter box, grab the scratching post, and exit the premises before I turn this whole house into a live broadcast." And honestly, the internet ate it up. Like dinner came early, fans started splitting into teams immediately. Because some people felt Karlissa had every right to be concerned if the cat was around kids, around allergies, around furniture, or just around a space that did not belong to Nevaeh in the way she was acting like it did. They said it was basic respect, plain and simple. Because you do not just bring animals into somebody else's home without making sure everybody is okay with it. Others thought Karlissa was doing what Karlissa always does, which is taking a small issue and turning it into a full family movie with explosions, suspense music, and emotional damage in every scene. The debate became less about the cat and more about boundaries. And that is where things started smelling like smoke. Because once boundaries entered the chat, Blueface's name came right back into the center of the mess, even though he was not the loudest voice in the room. People started asking why Nevaeh felt comfortable enough to make decisions in his space, and whether Blueface was allowing it, ignoring it, or simply sitting back watching everybody around him fight like this was entertainment. That is the part that always gets fans heated, because Blueface has a talent for standing in the middle of chaos, looking weirdly calm while everybody else is having emotional tornadoes around him. It is like he lights a match, walks away, and then acts surprised when the curtains start burning. Meanwhile, Karlissa is allegedly looking at the cat like it is the latest symbol of disrespect. The messy buildup got even louder because Nevaeh's image was already under a microscope. And every little thing she did was being judged like a public audition. To some fans, the cat made her look too comfortable too fast, like she was decorating a life that people were not even sure Blueface had fully claimed. Others said people were dragging it because they already did not like her. And the cat just became the newest excuse to pile on. That is where the comment sections turned into absolute madness. Because one side was calling it disrespectful, another side was calling it harmless, and a third side was just making cat jokes so brutal you would think the animal had personally betrayed the whole internet. The memes basically wrote themselves. Then came the bigger question nobody wanted to say too calmly. Was Karlissa really mad at the cat? Or was she mad at what the cat represented? Because in messy celebrity family drama, the object is rarely just the object. The hoodie is not just a hoodie. The phone call is not just a phone call. The Instagram story is not just an Instagram story. And apparently, the cat is not just a cat. To a lot of viewers, that little pet looked like a sign that Nevaeh was settling in, planting roots, and making herself part of Blueface's daily life while everyone else was still arguing over where they stood. And for Karlissa, who already watches these situations like a hawk with Wi-Fi, that may have been enough to set everything off. The scandal origin started feeling like a comedy. But the tension underneath was very real, because Blueface's family drama has always been layered, with control, loyalty, image, and public embarrassment. Karlissa has never been shy about speaking on who she thinks belongs around her son, who she thinks is moving wrong, and who she believes is creating problems under the roof. So Nevaeh walking in with a cat was not just some cute girlfriend moment. Two people watching from the outside. It looked like another chapter in the ongoing question of who gets access, who gets approval, and who gets called out before they even finish unpacking. And when Karlissa allegedly decided the cat had to go, it felt less like a pet complaint and more like a warning shot. The first reactions online were pure chaos, because everybody had a different version of what they thought happened, and nobody was waiting for a calm explanation. Some fans painted Karlissa as the overprotective mother who refuses to let any woman get too comfortable around. Blueface without passing her personal approval test. Others made Nevaeh the villain, saying she moved like she owned the place and forgot that being invited somewhere is not the same thing as running the house. Then there were the comedy fans who did not care about either side and just wanted to know if the cat had a better chance of staying in Blueface's life than half the people arguing about it. The shade was ridiculous, but that is exactly why. The story spread so fast. What made the whole thing feel like? Netflix episode 1 was the way every small detail seemed to hint at bigger drama coming. You had Karlissa allegedly upset Nevaeh under pressure, fans watching every move, and Blueface once again being the center of a circus that somehow keeps adding new characters. The cat became the unexpected plot device nobody saw coming. Like, the writers of this drama got bored and decided, you know what, this family needs a pet scandal. Pet scandal. But behind the jokes, people could feel something building. Because Karlissa's anger did not seem random to the fans who followed this situation closely, it felt like the kind of explosion that happens after too many things have been ignored for too long. And that is where the rising tension really started bubbling. Because once Karlissa's frustration hit the internet, people began waiting to see who would respond next. Would Nevaeh clap back and defend herself, acting like everyone was doing too much over a harmless animal? Would Blueface step in and calm his mother down? Or would he stay quiet and let the women around him battle it out like the world's messiest reality show? Would Christian's fans use the situation as proof that Blueface's new circle was already falling apart before it even got stable? Every possibility sounded chaotic, and that is why people stayed locked in. Because in Blueface's universe, the cat might have walked in quietly, but the drama it dragged behind it was loud enough to wake up the whole internet. The escalation got ridiculous the moment fans stopped treating the cat like a pet and started treating it like a public relations disaster with pause. Comment sections turned into a full digital courtroom. And everybody had opening statements ready, like they were prosecuting the case of Nevaeh versus Karlissa's patients. One side said Karlissa was doing the absolute most, because only in Blueface's universe can a cat cause more public outrage than half the actual scandals surrounding the family. Another side said no, this was not about being dramatic. This was about respect. Because you do not walk into somebody's home and start adding animals like you are filming an episode of Extreme Makeover. Toxic Relationship Edition. Then the memes started moving, and once the internet found the comedy angle, the situation had no chance of calming down. People were joking that the cat probably wanted to leave before Karlissa even finished her first sentence. Because even animals know when the energy in a house is unsafe for peace. Somebody probably imagined the poor thing sitting in the corner like, I just came here to nap. Why am I trending? And honestly, that is what made the drama so viral, because the cat became the funniest accidental character in a storyline already packed with egos, sidees, public embarrassment, and enough family tension to make Thanksgiving dinner look like a WWE cage match with potato salad. But behind all the jokes, fans could feel the real issue boiling underneath, because Karlissa's reaction did not land like a random complaint. It landed like a woman who had already been watching Nevaeh move around Blueface's space and finally found the one detail that made her say, okay, now you are doing too much. That is why the conversation got sharper, because people started connecting the cat to bigger questions about control, access, and who gets to act comfortable around Blueface. To some viewers, the pet was just the final little symbol that Nevaeh was settling in. And Karlissa was not about to sit back and watch someone turn her son's house into a soft launch family sitcom. The celebrity reaction side of the internet did what it always does, turning one tiny domestic argument into a full entertainment event. Bloggers started framing it like the cat had exposed the entire household dynamic. Fans were tagging pages, gossip accounts were clipping every angle. And suddenly, everybody became an expert on relationship boundaries, parenting, allergies, and emotional territory. The funniest part is that half the people yelling had probably never cared about pet rules in their lives. But because Karlissa's name was attached, they started talking like licensed home inspectors. It was giving, "Ma'am, we are here to discuss one cat." But the internet responded like the animal had uncovered tax records, secret messages, and a hidden family betrayal. Nevaeh's side of the situation became even more complicated because fans could not decide whether she was being bold, careless, or simply normal. Some people argued that bringing a pet around was not that deep, especially if Blueface allowed it, because if the man whose house it is did not stop it, why was everybody else acting like the cat committed a felony? But other fans said that was exactly the problem, because Blueface often lets things build until they explode. Then acts innocent, while everyone around him looks unstable. That pattern had people side-eyeing him again, because somehow the man can be in the center of the drama and still avoid getting treated like the main character. And then came the comparisons, because the internet cannot survive without turning every situation into a cinematic universe. Fans started saying Karlissa was moving, like Kris Jenner if Kris had a Ring camera, a Facebook Live button, and zero interest in keeping family business private. Others compared the house to Zeus backstage, where nobody knows who is allowed in. The room, everybody is yelling, and one random object somehow becomes the reason security has to step between people. Somebody else said this was Marvel-level chaos, because every character has a backstory, every argument has a sequel, and every tiny detail turns into a post-credits scene. The only difference is that Marvel has superheroes, and this storyline has a cat catching strays for existing. The contradictions made the drama even juicier, because everybody had a different standard depending on who they liked. If Christian had brought the cat, some fans said the internet would have turned it into a joke about her being chaotic, emotional, or reckless. If Nevaeh does it, people either call her too comfortable or defend her like she is being bullied over nothing. If Karlissa complains, some say she is protecting her family, while others say she is stirring the pot because she knows exactly how to make a small issue go viral. That is where the hypocrisy started jumping out, because the same people saying it is just a cat were also writing full essays about why the cat proved Nevaeh had no respect. The fan outrage was messy because it was not even one clean argument. It was 5 arguments wearing the same wig. Some were mad because they felt Nevaeh was moving too fast in Blueface's life. Some were mad because Karlissa once again inserted herself directly into the drama instead of letting Blueface handle his own household. Some were mad at Blueface for not creating clear boundaries, because if the people around him knew where they stood, every little issue would not become a public explosion. And some were just mad because they were tired of watching grown adults turn every private disagreement into online entertainment, while still clicking, commenting, and refreshing like the rest of us. Meanwhile, Karlissa's delivery is exactly why the story kept growing, because she has a way of making a household complaint sound like a declaration of war. She does not give "I have concerns." She gives "I have gathered the evidence. I have called the meeting, and I am prepared to embarrass everyone involved." That is why fans stay tuned even when the topic sounds minor, because they know Karlissa can take one sentence and load it with enough shade to power an entire gossip channel. Her frustration over the cat may have sounded funny at first, but the way people reacted proved they were hearing a deeper message. The message was simple: Nevaeh may be around, but Karlissa is watching every move. The memes kept getting more savage as the night went on, with fans joking that the cat had become Blueface's most stable relationship because at least it knew when to stay quiet. Others said the cat was probably the only innocent one in the house, just trying to survive between family tension, girlfriend politics, and a mother who can sense disrespect from 3 rooms away. Someone joked that the cat needed its own lawyer, its own statement, and maybe its own YouTube channel called Secret Meow. Because it had accidentally walked into a scandal bigger than most influencers could manufacture on purpose. And that is exactly how you know a story has gone viral. When the side character becomes the headline, the wildest part is that Nevaeh did not even need to say much for the internet to start writing her role in the drama. People assumed she was unbothered. People assumed she was being disrespectful. People assumed she was trying to mark territory, and people assumed she knew Karlissa would react. That is the dangerous part about public relationships, because once fans believe they know your motive, they will build an entire storyline around a 5-second clip and a rumor. Nevaeh became the girl who brought chaos into the house. Karlissa became the mother fighting for boundaries. And Blueface became the man somehow letting everybody else explain his life for him. It was reality TV without producers. Just pure internet madness. By the time the argument reached peak chaos, the cat had turned into a symbol for everything fans already believed about Blueface's messy circle. To some, it proved Nevaeh was getting too comfortable while the family still looked divided. To others, it proved Karlissa would never let any woman breathe around her son without turning into the emotional security system. And to the loudest corner of the internet, it proved Blueface's life is so chaotic that even a pet can walk in and accidentally expose the cracks. The situation was funny, yes, but it was also uncomfortable because everybody could tell this was not ending with a simple "take the cat home." And that is why the escalation felt bigger than the headline, because once the internet realized the cat drama was really about power, the whole story changed. This was no longer just Karlissa being annoyed, Nevaeh being judged, or fans clowning a random pet. This became a messy test of who gets to make decisions, who gets checked publicly, and who Blueface actually protects when the heat gets serious. Because when a mother explodes, a girlfriend gets dragged, fans start choosing sides, and the man in the middle stays too quiet. The next chapter is never peaceful. And in this house, the cat may have caused the noise, but somebody else was about to catch the real scratch. By the time the dust started settling, the damage was already bigger than the cat, because now everybody involved looked like they were standing in a house full of invisible tripwires. Karlissa's frustration made people question Nevaeh's place. Kay's presence made people question Blueface's boundaries, and Blueface's silence made people question whether he enjoys watching everyone else fight battles he should have handled privately. That is the part fans kept circling back to, because somehow he always ends up in the center of a storm, while other people become the headline. And once the internet notices that pattern, it does not let it go quietly. The emotional fallout hit hardest because this drama made the whole situation look unstable from every angle. Nevaeh may have thought she was just living her life, bringing her pet around and staying comfortable in a space Blueface allowed her into. But the internet turned that comfort into evidence. Suddenly, people were acting like the cat was a receipt. The house was a courtroom, and Karlissa was the judge banging the gavel with one hand while dragging everybody with the other. That kind of public pressure can make even a small disagreement feel humiliating, because now every move Nevaeh makes is being treated like a clue in a scandal documentary. Karlissa's reputation also took another hit, depending on who you ask, because her supporters saw a mother trying to protect her son's space, while her critics saw a woman who cannot resist turning private household issues into public fireworks. That divide is exactly why Karlissa stays trending, because she is never boring, never neutral, and never afraid to say what other people would probably whisper in a group chat. Some fans said she was right to call out boundaries before things got worse, while others said she poured gasoline on a candle and then acted surprised when the room caught fire. Either way, she became the loudest voice in the whole story. And Blueface, once again, looked like the man with the most power and the least urgency to use it properly. Fans were not just laughing at the cat anymore. They were asking why his house keeps becoming a public battlefield for women around him. If Nevaeh is welcome there, why is the situation so unclear that Karlissa feels the need to step in? Karlissa has concerns. Why does it always land online before it gets solved behind closed doors? And if Blueface is really in control of his own world, why does every little issue turn into a family-wide circus with fans selling popcorn in the comment section? That confusion is what made alliances start shifting, because people who were originally clowning Nevaeh began side-eyeing Karlissa, and people who were defending Karlissa started asking why Blueface was not setting the tone himself. Even some fans who usually live for the mess admitted this felt like another example of everyone doing too much around a man who keeps letting situations spiral. Christian supporters used the drama as fresh proof that Blueface's new chapter was not as smooth as people tried to make it look. Nevaeh's defenders argued she was being targeted because fans already wanted a reason to drag her, and the cat somehow remained the only character with no confirmed statement. The consequences unfolded in the most internet way possible, because nobody needed a press conference when the comment sections were already writing the script. Memes kept spreading, reaction pages kept reposting, and fans kept exaggerating the drama until the cat sounded like it had committed emotional fraud. But behind the comedy, the bigger consequence was simple. Nevaeh's image around Blueface now looked even more fragile. Once people associate you with household drama, mother-in-law tension, and public embarrassment, it becomes hard to look unbothered without people accusing you of acting too comfortable. The internet does not just watch a scandal, it brands you. With it, the public confusion only made things worse, because nobody knew where the truth ended and where the entertainment began. Was Karlissa truly furious because of allergies, kids, cleanliness, or respect? Was Nevaeh actually being careless? Or did the internet turn a normal pet situation into a full-blown character assassination? Was Blueface quietly approving everything? Or was he just letting everybody assume whatever made the most noise? That lack of clarity created the perfect gossip storm, because when people do not have answers, they start creating their own. And with this family, fan theories spread faster than facts ever could. Then came the unexpected twist. The cat drama may have accidentally exposed the real issue nobody wanted to clean up. This was not just about fur on furniture or a pet in the wrong room. It was about who gets to belong in Blueface's life without being challenged. Karlissa's reaction made it clear that Nevaeh's place is not fully accepted by everyone. And Nevaeh's comfort made it look like she believes she has more room than the family is willing to give her. That is a dangerous combination, because when one person is moving in and another person is mentally moving them out, the house becomes a battlefield before anyone admits there is a war by the end. The situation felt less like a random pet complaint and more like a season finale warning shot. The cat walked in as a tiny detail, but it dragged out questions about loyalty, control, family approval, and Blueface's messy habit of letting women around him clash while he stays conveniently quiet. Karlissa may have exploded over Nevaeh's cat, but the internet heard something deeper in that explosion. They heard a mother saying, "Not too much, not too fast, and not in my son's house." And if one cat caused this much chaos, imagine what happens when the next real secret walks through that door. Now listen, this cat drama taught us anything? It is that Blueface's house does not need security cameras, because the internet is already watching every corner, every couch cushion, every side eye, and apparently every pet that crosses the doorway. Karlissa saw one furry little situation and reacted like Nevaeh had brought a whole zoo into the family bloodline, while fans turned the comments section into a courtroom with memes, theories, and emotional damages filed by the hour. So yes, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes Karlissa rent money, cause this story went from meow to mother-in-law mayhem faster than a Zeus fight scene with broken microphones. And drop your comments, because I need to know whose side you were on before this cat gets a manager, a publicist, and a 3-part documentary deal. Was Karlissa right for checking the situation before Nevaeh got too comfortable? Or was everybody doing Olympic-level gymnastics over one innocent pet trying to survive Blueface's messy empire? Did Nevaeh cross a boundary? Did Blueface fail to set one? Or did Karlissa simply say the quiet part loud enough for the whole internet to hear? Because baby, at this point, even the cat probably needs a confession booth, a ring light, and a pinned comment to explain its side of the scandal. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Watching this chaos through the window like a nosy neighbor with no snacks. Hit that subscribe button like Blueface just invited another scandal into the living room. Because you already know the next chapter is not going to be peaceful, private, or remotely normal. Around here, we catch the shade, the side eyes, the messy details, and the dramatic little clues before they turn into full-blown internet explosions. So keep your notifications on, keep your teacup close, and remember, this is Secret Scoop, where the drama walks in quietly, but leaves the whole timeline screaming.